Have you ever walked into your garden and thought, what in the world has happened here? Everything is stripped down to nothing but stems. You're not alone. Meet the tomato hornworm, a garden wrecking ball in green camouflage. Today I'll walk you through its full life cycle and give you battle-tested tips to fight back with both prevention and treatment. Let's go. Putting up this shade cloth has helped tremendously. I have been able to get some beautiful tomatoes off of these tomato plants, which are back here in the back. But now I have another problem. Can you see those stems? See these? The tops of my tomato plants have been heavily consumed by tomato hornworms. I have found 2, but I know there's a lot more than that. Anytime you have your stems decimated like this and the stems are out of reach of maybe deer, you can pretty much count on there being tomato hornworms. If this was down a little bit lower, I would suspect deer coming in, because they have in fact done that and eaten large sections like this. Generally, it'll just look like it's bitten off. But these are tomato hornworms attacking my tomato plants. Now my job is to find them, get rid of them. And there's 2 ways to do it. Hand pick them, which is disgusting to me, but I'll do it. And then there's the method of a treatment. So I'll be treating these tomato plants, which I should have been doing all along. You can proactively and in a preventive measure spray your tomato plants with several things. The first choice is BT. BT is a good choice. It's organic and it will only harm caterpillars. It won't harm the bees, the pollinators, and all the good insects that we want to keep. You have to spray the leaves, and then when they consume the leaves, it kills them from the inside out. It destroys their gut. That's why it's not harmful to your pollinators like bees and the friendly insects that we're good with keeping or we don't have to worry about. Then there's some stronger chemicals that if the situation is extremely bad and you have a big infestation and you need to kill them right away, then there's spinosad, there's liquid 7, among many things, and it depends on how desperate you are and what you're good with. Picking them off though is a good first choice, because you're getting rid of them, and that's if you can find them. And then spraying the leaves so that if there are more that you missed, or there's eggs and they hatch, then when they consume the leaves, then they will die. And inspecting and getting rid of leaves that may have eggs is another good choice. So let me look around and see if I can see any more. When I picked the first 2 off, I just killed them and got rid of them. Didn't think to wait and save them for the camera. They have really been busy from the top down. And about right here is where the damage stops. So I'm looking from the top down to where the devastation stops, and in that area is where I expect to see these hornworms. That doesn't mean they won't be down in here, but what they're doing is they're working their way from the top down. They just haven't gotten to this area here yet. So I'm going to scour these tomato plants really well and see how many I can find. I've already found 3 today. Yesterday I found 2, but it was so hot, and it's actually very hot right now. I'm gonna show you the 3 that I found, and then I'm gonna go inside and let's talk about all the information that I can transfer to you so you can be on the lookout for your tomato plants and potentially save them from the destruction like I have. My plants have a lot of destruction, but there's a lot that's untouched. These will be okay. What I will do is come in here and trim down the pieces that have no leaves whatsoever. I'm just going to trim them down and get them out of the way. They are actually growing up into my sunshade anyways, and that's not helpful for the plant. It's not good for the sunshade. I'm going to trim them all down, clean them up, and get them healthier looking. And I'm going to mix up a batch of BT and spray all of these plants thoroughly. Here's the 3 that I just got moments ago. This one here, this one, and then there's a 3rd one right there. Now, I want to point a couple of things out. One, I don't have my gloves with me, and I'm not touching these things barehanded, but yesterday when I first found them, I did have gloves and I tried to pull them off. These things have really good grippers is all I can call them, on those on their legs right there. And when you go to mess with them, they will instantly wrap those legs around that stem, and it makes it hard to pull them off. So I cut the stem rather than trying to get them with my hands. I'm not going to do that. See this little horn? That's what they're famous for. That's the rear end. The head is down here. On this one, this is the head, and the tail is down there, the horn. And their horn here, that's the rear end, and here is the head. Those little white things right there, that's feet. That is what helps them travel. The others on those legs are grippers, and they will always have these white diagonal stripes on them and the little black dots. So I just thought I would give you a close-up. And I'm going to take you in the house and sit down and go over every detail that I know of to share with you so that you can know what to expect and how to treat your plants and take care of these things once and for all. This is the hawk moth. It's also known as the sphinx moth or hummingbird moth. Many people say that it looks like a hummingbird in flight. I've seen them, but I've never thought that they look like a hummingbird. I guess to each his own, and it's in the eye of the beholder. They fly around at night, and that's when they lay their eggs. They will lay tiny green eggs on the underside of leaves, and they're so small, it's just very hard to see them with the naked eye. We will overlook them time and time again. They will eventually grow a little bit, and they will yellow, and they'll become more noticeable in the clusters on the underside of the leaves. Once you see these clusters of eggs on the leaves, you don't have a lot of time to get rid of them by squishing them or cutting the leaf off and discarding, because they will hatch in 5 to 7 days and become very tiny worms that are very hard to see. Newly hatched hornworms begin feeding on leaves right away as soon as they are hatched. They will go through 5 stages called the pupation stage, and they will grow from a ½ inch to 4 inches long in just a couple of weeks. This is the larval stage, and this is the actual hornworm caterpillar stage, the one that we're cussing at when we see them. They will start out as shy little nibblers, and then it seems like overnight they're leaf chomping linebackers, and most of their destruction is during this stage. That little horn on the end of the worm is totally harmless, and it's actually very flexible. It's just for looks. It's meant to be intimidating against other insects, as if the worm itself is not intimidating enough. When the caterpillar matures, it will drop down into the soil and burrow in. It will go through the stage called pupation. It creates a brown pupa, and this is their hideout until they transform into moths. Pupation means it forms a brown shell-like casing where it begins its transformation. It stays underground for 2 to 4 weeks unless it's overwintering at the late end of the season. If you happen to be digging around in your soil and you unearth any of these casings, it's best to pull them up and get rid of them. Once it forms this cocoon, it undergoes the metamorphosis stage, and then it will emerge as a moth called the hawk moth. If you happen to see this stage, the caterpillar with what looks like little pieces of white rice on its back, this is a stage where parasitic wasps have laid eggs on the back of the hornworm. Now, they will destroy the hornworm and they will eat it from the outside in. Many people say if you see it, leave it be, but I personally am going to remove a hornworm no matter what kind of coat it's wearing. You only have 18 to 25 days from the time that the eggs are laid until they are large enough that they're actually destroying your tomato plants. And the only good course of action is to be proactive and to begin to spray all of your tomato plants on a regular basis with BT. BT is an organic spray, and it's not a contact killer. So they have to ingest it in order for it to kill them. They eat the leaf and their stomach shuts down. No drama, no survivors. If it's an emergency situation and you feel like you can't wait for the organic stuff to work, there are other chemical options. Spinosad, it is organic, but you need to avoid spraying when the bees are out. Permethrin, or 7, is not organic, but it is fast acting. You have to go with your own gut and what your needs are to make a decision on what spray to use. After you've picked off all that you can find and you've sprayed, you can come back at night if you have a black light, and you can shine your black light all over your tomato plants and easily locate any left behind that you may have missed, because the tomato hornworm glows tremendously under a black light. I checked mine last night and I couldn't find any more, so I'm hoping that they're all gone. Before I go, I'd like to point out that I've got lots of great links in the description below. You may find something of interest down there. If you found this video helpful and you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe and stick around for more videos from the garden and from the kitchen. If you are a subscriber, I want to thank you for staying with my channel. Until I see you on the next video, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.